Hey, review family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morse Review Guy, and I'm back again to bring you another video. Sorry that I haven't uploaded in a couple of days. I was taking some time off to just kind of relax, catch up on some music that I was planning on reviewing, as well as I've been pre-planning some bigger videos, but I'm back in full swing, and also new setup, as you guys can see. I thought this was more of an appropriate background. I wanted to have my CDs in the mix, and I hope you guys enjoy it, so if you do, you can post down in the comment section below. And boy, I'm not happy right now, because I've tried to record a different video that I've just scrapped. I've tried to record it 3 times, and evidently I literally still do not know how to work the camera that I have been working with since I started, so I guess I'm just that stupid. But that ain't what you guys care about. You care about the new Architects album entitled Holy Hell that released today, Friday. So this is released on Epitaph Records. It's 11 track, it's 42 minutes and 16 seconds, and if you have been following the channel for a couple of months, you will know that this was an album that was very widely kind of anticipated by me. I covered the tracks Royal Beggars and Hereafter. I covered those, and judging by the singles that were released before this album came out, I was so excited for this album. But I also knew that a lot of times it can be encouraging talk and they'll put out the best songs as the singles. And with 11 tracks, when you put out quite a few singles and they're all good, I still felt like this had a very good chance of living up to the hype that was surrounding it, or at least for me. And for me, I can say that yes, this album lives up to the hype. This album is very good. I feel like the technical prowess and the Djenty feel that you're going to get on this album, this is a progressive metalcore album, it has a lot of Djent influences, is really exemplified by Sam Carter's phenomenal vocal performance, where he does something that very few metal vocalists can do, and that is screams. He doesn't do growls, he does screams that stay on pitch. He sings with a register that is screaming, and it's strange. It's something that could be off-putting for some people. I will straight up say that even though I genuinely really enjoyed this album and really enjoyed what Sam brought to the table on the vocal duties, I still think that people could be off-put because there were some moments where even I felt that it got a little repetitive, because that's something a lot of people like, is seeing variety when it comes to the whole kind of metal vocal thing. They want to hear those gutturals, they want to hear the highs, they want to hear the mids, they want to hear the singing, and the singing is very good on this album. But yeah, he doesn't go too far with his register in terms of how he does his metal vocals, but for what he does, for the screams he does, God, he is top of the block when it comes to screams, because he does some amazing vocal work on this album, through and through, song for song, track for track. There is so many good vocal moments, so many times I was just like, wow, he hit that note in the middle of a scream, and it breaks off into these melodic parts that have this atmosphere to them, that sound eerie, that sound beautiful, that sound almost ambient in the tone that they are bringing, with kind of electronic synth elements working hand in hand with Sam going in a lower register, showing that not only is he very good at doing these screams and doing metal vocals, but he is also very talented when it comes to his singing. Now, is his singing as impressive to me as his metal vocals? Not at all. He's a good singer, but I don't think it is as impressive and as kind of mind-blowing as some of his screams that reach up into those higher registers. And that's not to discredit his singing at all, it's just to say that I feel like his screams do more in the way of kind of being breathtaking and adding a lot more depth and intensity to the album. Emphasis on intensity. This album is super balls to the wall heavy. The drum work on this album is super pronounced, super pounding, super just right in your face. The guitar work is technical and Djenty. It is a bassy album. The drum work, I must say, is so loud, so abrasive, and these vocals that are just so finely mixed, and they're just like something along those lines. He doesn't do that on the album. That's just the thing that I feel like fits the most to describe them. But like usually on a metal album, the instrumentation is like super technical and super heavy. Well, the vocals for a metalcore album, for a progressive metalcore album, is so heavy that it is unique, not only because of his vocal style and all of that and his prowess, but just because it's different, I guess. When I heard Death Is Not Defeat, the first track on the album, I was, like, my mind was blown on impact. It was my first telltale sign that this album wasn't just going to be the singles. It wasn't just going to be a bunch of singles that I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like those singles, but the rest of the album is an eh. No, the first track is so good for setting the tone of the album, and a part of me was worried that it was going to be very good. It was going to have a very good start, and the singles were going to remain good, obviously, especially in context of the album. But I was worried that because they were setting the bar so high, could they maintain that quality throughout the whole album? And for the most part, I do believe that they do that. That's not to say there aren't some pitfalls. Obviously, for a genre that is as niche as this is, and for a genre that has become a little bit oversaturated in terms of bands, there are some moments that can come off as a bit stereotypical. There are some moments where Sam's vocals can get a bit repetitive when it comes to track for track, but that doesn't discredit the album's talent in any way, and it definitely is one of the better progressive metalcore albums that I've heard recently. And I don't know if I'm the only one that thought this, but when I was listening to it, if you guys didn't know, I'm a big Era fan, and this really gave me feels of Impulse era. Not talking Augment, I'm talking Impulse, their first studio-length album. This gave me such a feel of that in terms of the instrumentation and the vocal style, especially considering how Sam can go in those higher registers a lot like Jesse. And these tracks are in a theme. That's something I forgot to mention, is these are in a theme, and this is something I have literally waited like multiple hours, racking my brain trying to understand. These lyrics are cryptic. I can tell there is a religious theme. It is obvious there is a religious theme, but there's contradicting lyrics and contradicting titles that I don't know if they're intentionally contradicting, if this is meant to be metaphorical and it is a non-religious thing about, like, religion, because there's references to the rapture, there's references to living forever, there's references to damnation, there is references to this, I believe, the seventh circle of hell. I mean, there's so much on this album that has to do with religious stuff. And I think that goes to, like, prove the album title, Holy Hell. The self-titled track is pretty good, but I'm more so kind of thinking about the meaning behind that. Holy hell in and of itself is kind of contradicting. Obviously there is the saying holy hell. I don't think that's what this album was named after, but giving the religious subtext throughout this album, whether it be from different points of view, whether it be kind of a metaphorical speaking out about it, it's very interesting to kind of try to dissect that, because there's moments where I feel like it is spoken from an atheistic point of view. There's moments where I feel like it is spoken from a Christian point of view. There are moments where I feel like it is almost spoken from a satanic point of view, and they're all very vague. There is quite a bit of references to Christianity. There is talk of the rapture, there's talking about living forever, there's talks about, like, the live forever part was about, like, royal beggars, and that track has a lot of religious subtext talking about, like, is this the price we have to pay? And it's such a hard-hitting track. Love that track. I loved it in my track review of that. But overall, it's hard for me to dissect these lyrics and really pin down if this is more of a metaphorical speaking out about religion, or if this actually is about Christianity, or if it's about another religion, or if it's coming from an atheist point of view. Either way, there is a gigantic religious type of theme throughout this entire album, and it shows up in the lyrics a lot. There's a lot of talk about being weak. These are some of the other lyrical themes about being weak, about depression, maybe a little bit of abuse of a substance. I'm not 100% sure about that, but there are some definitive songs that remind me of that. So, Doomsday, track number 10, was released last September, and it was released as a solo single, but they eventually included it on this album. And the only reason I'm mentioning it, it's a good song, but at the same time, I feel like because it came out before this album, it felt a bit differently mixed. When it came on, it felt disconnected from the rest of the album. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. I mean, blending in these singles and blending in the regular tracks, this is a fantastic album. It's getting 10 out of 10s. People are really enjoying it. And while there are occasional consistency issues, tracks like Hereafter, tracks like Royal Beggars, Mortal After All, Death Is Not Defeat, even Doomsday, even the fact that I even the fact that I don't really like the mix on this album. This is a very hard-hitting, abrasive, fantastic, djenty progressive metalcore album. And just to jump back to that whole religious thing for a second, I mean, the last track is called A Wasted Hymn. Your guess is as good as mine when it comes to trying to dissect the meaning behind this album. Listen to it for yourself and try to figure out at what point of view this is told by, because usually I can dissect and make my opinion about something. I'm lost. I don't think this is a Christian. I don't think this is a Satanist. I don't think this is someone from another religion. There is so much religious subtext that is taken from so many point of views that it very well could be from a Christian point of view. I don't think it's from a satanic point of view. There's too much Christianity related things that remind me too much of that. I feel like this has to be either a Christian or a atheist. That's pretty much, in my opinion, the only two options. But that's besides the point. We're listening to music. This is a good album. This is a very good album. It's not super long, but it's long enough to where it's very enjoyable, and I enjoyed this album quite a bit. But I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Obviously, it's not a perfect 10 out of 10, but it's really damn close, and I do enjoy it. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Please drop me a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I'll see you later. My name is Jay Morse, Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.